Hello, welcome back to my channel. I honestly just decided to get on here like no makeup, nothing, because I've been feeling some type of way about protecting my energy and I just really want to share this with you all. So basically I got a few tips on how to protect your energy, keep yourself centered, and not let things or people throw you off balance. Okay, first off, I have been seeing a lot of I wouldn't say bad advice, but I just feel like some of it's misguided advice, because sometimes when we try to protect our energy, we're cutting people off and doing all these things that are reactive, and it's not necessarily fueling us, it's just fueling us for the moment. Kind of like how people rely on certain short-term fixes to fix a long-term problem. Okay, so what not to do? Cut people off. Be a hermit and not talk to anybody. Avoid hard conversations because it's too much. And essentially anything pertaining to that, it just enables bad behavior. For example, being a hermit and not talking to anybody is something that I've struggled with in the past and still struggle with. And when I think about where my headspace is at that moment, I don't want to talk to anybody, but I also don't want to address my issues or my problems. I don't want to address what's bothering me, so I just avoid everybody and hide. So obviously that's not solving the problem, and that's not me protecting my energy, that's me protecting bad behavior, that's me protecting coping mechanisms. Or cutting people off. Girl, I'm a fan of cutting people off, but there's a certain way to do it. So when people say cut them off, protect your energy, I just feel like it's misguided, because if you're doing it reactively, like, oh, I don't really rock with her anymore, I'm just gonna cut her off or not talk to her anymore. One, you're not addressing the issue, so they don't even have the chance to fix the problem, because it could just be a fixable problem. And two, you feel some type of way because sometimes it's like, okay, well, I'm gonna cut them off, but in the back of your head, whether you want to acknowledge it or not, you're like, okay, well, I hope they, respond. I hope they say something, or I hope they, or I hope they give me the answer I'm looking for, because I don't know what answer I'm looking for, but I know that I don't like how they're coming at me. You know what I'm trying to say? Okay, so 6 steps or tips in order to help protect your energy, stay centered, and stay balanced so that things don't throw you off. Okay, the first thing is thank God and He will bless you. Now, God can be addressed with several different names. God could be the universe, God could be spirit, God could be a lot of different things. But one thing that God is, at least to me, is present. God is always present. God is always around. The only difference between us leaning on God in these times and when we're not is acknowledging His presence. So one way that just helps me get recentered is thanking God. If I'm a hermit, if I'm avoiding people and cutting people off, I'm focusing on so many negative things that I don't even have space or time to think about positive things. I don't even have the brain capacity or emotional capacity to even acknowledge so many blessings that God has. Like, I'm literally looking around my room and it's a hot mess, and I could be like, oh my God, my room is a mess, I'm a mess, da da da. But I could look out the window and see these beautiful trees and say thank you God, because that's beautiful. Or I could think about this beautiful ring light I have helping your girl out, because like I said, I didn't put any makeup on. Shout out to ring lights. So yeah, just making sure you're focusing on the positive, and by focusing on the positive and just sending things up to God, it almost sends a blessing back down to you. And I've always experienced this several different times throughout my personal journey, throughout my self-love journey, of every time I'm in tune with God. And that doesn't always have to mean getting on my knees and praying every night. Sometimes that just means remembering to say thank you, because all of these blessings that I have did not come from me. I didn't give myself this brain, I didn't give myself these gifts, I didn't give myself this opportunity or ability to speak to you all on this platform and hope that the message gets to the right person. That's all God. That's all God. Like, not everybody is able to understand and feel that, but when you do feel that, when you understand that, and it's just a different feeling, it's just a different way of walking in life, and it puts you in a different perspective. You look at things with gratitude, and when you think about people who are generally happy, they're usually often the people who have gratitude, people who don't want to take the attention, they don't want to take the acknowledgement, they just want to show thanks where it's deserved. My second point is to meditate and just sit in prayer. I feel like sometimes we put too much pressure on ourselves, that it's like, oh, I want to be centered, I want to be whole, I want to protect my energy, so I'm going to 1, 2, 3, 4, instant gratification, I'm done. Like, no, like this is a journey. I have been on this self journey for so many years. At this point, it's like, okay, God, I know that you have a plan, but like, I'm exhausted. Like, I'm exhausted, but you can tell I can't even record a video when I don't feel centered, when I feel off my balance, when I feel negativity, you know? So sometimes finding the ways to recenter yourself can be through meditation and prayer. For me, right now, within the last few months or so, I haven't been able to meditate. And I talk about meditating all the time. You could ask any of my friends. I am a huge advocate and proponent for meditation, but I've just been having so much spiritual warfare. I've just been feeling so off. I've been, you know, just uneasy, kind of like hyped up. And I'll just wake up in the morning hyped up. So that doesn't even make sense. So sometimes when you feel off, it might not be that something happened to you. It might just be that your spirit is not settled. So for me, if I know I can't meditate, or I'm trying to meditate and I can't, I'll listen to some calming beats. And I can link some YouTube videos for beats that I'll listen to, but I'll just put them on in the background very quietly, not loud or anything. So if you don't feel comfortable meditating, or you just don't feel like you're there yet, and you've tried, because there's a difference between I don't want to try that and I've tried it, it doesn't work for me, maybe I could try it again, but it doesn't work right now. So anything that just helps you stay balanced, something that you can do in silence and not feel uneasy or off. Meditation, prayer, yoga, those are things that you do in very calm and chill atmospheres in order to just kind of draw the energy from within, rather than looking to other things or people for that energy to keep you balanced or just whole. Okay, so number 3 is to get out in nature. Get out in the nature. I don't want to hear, I don't like bugs, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear, oh girl, grass is itchy, I don't want to hear that either. I don't want to hear there's no nature around me. Like, there are parks, forest preserves, all types of stuff. And the craziest thing is, I have said all these things. So while I'm talking to y'all, I'm talking to me too. I have said all these things, and they're just cop-outs. They're excuses. They're reasons that we can't show ourselves love by discipline and dedication. If you are disciplined and you're paying attention to the things that fill your body, and you're doing those things, you're showing yourself self-love. That's how you show yourself love. How else? How else? You speak positivity to yourself. You do things that make you feel good. You do things that uplift you and push you into the next purpose, you know? So I know I keep looking out that way, but like I said, nature is right outside my window, and that is such a blessing. And I feel like sometimes when you just get out into nature, it fuels you. Even walking to the water. I know a lot of my followers are in Illinois or close to Chicago. Get out to a beach, get out to some water. You don't even have to get in the water, girl. You just walk up to it and just sit down. Look at it. Feel the breeze. You know, have you ever just sat in front of a beach or in front of a big body of water and closed your eyes? Have you ever taken a stroll by yourself or with a friend if you feel, you know, it's safer? But taking a stroll through the forest or through some sort of forest preserve or some sort of park or something like that. I never realized how incredible that was until I started doing it. Yes, there are bugs, but honestly, you're not likely to see the bugs or acknowledge the bugs because you're so focused on just feeling good in that moment, you know? So get outside, get in nature, and just, you know, soak up what God gave us. Okay, number 4 has to do with cutting people off. Now, there's a certain way to cut people off. And I honestly don't even like to use the term cut people off because it's so harsh. Like, it's just like, oh, like discarding, as if a person doesn't mean anything. Like, that's a whole soul. That's a whole being. That's a human being, just like you. If you operate in love and you show people love, how could you treat somebody like that? I'm also speaking off of hurt because, you know, people have left me in the dust before. I mean, you know, some people come back, but it's also just like, dang, like my feelings are hurt. I don't want to do that to somebody else because I don't like how that feels. And I fully believe in karma because it's very present and it's very real. So if I'm out here cutting people off, guess what's happening to me? Okay then. I would say make a clean cut with people. It doesn't always have to be a deep conversation about you did this to me, you did this to me. Honestly, a perfect example, there was a girl in my life who I just felt was so negative, and just every time I was around her, she was just draining my energy. I kind of didn't look forward to seeing her call, and I tried to talk myself through it, like, you know, maybe you're just off, maybe you're just unbalanced, but it wasn't me that was unbalanced. You know, I just felt like I would try to talk to her about things and she would just reject it. I don't want to hear it. You know, very reactive every time I tried to have conversations. And I'm not perfect. Every time my tone is not always perfect. But it just felt like I would come, even if I came at her at a 3, she would come at me at a 50. Like, coming at my neck, coming at things about me, you know, pushing on sore things that, you know, are sensitive to me. So I just felt like the connection just wasn't really benefiting me. It was almost painful. And I felt like the more I spoke to her, the more I was like falling into this pettiness of like, well, if you're gonna act like that, I'm gonna act like that back. And then I had to check myself, like, no, that's not how you're supposed to be acting. So, you know, I didn't want to cut her off, but it was kind of to that point where it's either me or her, and you've always got to pick you. So in order to do this in a respectful way without, you know, sparking her up to get angry again, I, you know, just messaged her and was like, hey girl, we had a little disagreement. Like, as soon as I was like, this is the same example of the things that keep happening. And so I was just like, you know what, I think I need some space. And I took my space. It doesn't have to be so in depth of like, you did this, that, and that to me, because not everybody's ready to hear that. I could vouch for that. I'm not always ready to hear that either. So sometimes you just got to let people know, I need some space. That's not saying I'm cutting you off for life, because people grow and people change, and it's not fair to just cut somebody off when they're, you know, maybe just not centered themselves. But I just kind of let her know, I need some space, and that was all. I think she said okay or something, or she didn't really respond at all, and I gave her time to respond. Didn't get a response, and so, you know, I took my time. She still tried to reach out, you know, just sending me things on Instagram or things like that. And, you know, it's normal when you're on good terms with somebody, but in order to honor myself and show love to myself for making that choice, I had to make sure that I didn't, you know, respond to those things or even open those things. So I might see them and I'll maybe restrict the account so I can't see it, or I'll unfollow. And that doesn't always have to be something negative, but when you have that conversation or just make the attempt to let somebody know, as a human being to a human being, this isn't the direction that I am capable of going right now. And because of that, you know, I need some space. Oh, and also, just as a side note, keep in mind how you cut people off and what your intentions are when you do it. Because sometimes we'll want to cut people off and then it's because we expect them to blow our phone up or show us more love because we just don't have enough love. And that's obviously because we're not giving ourselves enough love. But, you know, don't hold it against people if they're not giving you the response that you want, because everybody's on a different journey and it might be just the best thing for both of you. Okay, tip number 5 is my favorite, and I love to do it at least twice a day. But I love to invest in myself. Investing in yourself is showing yourself love. Investing in yourself is showing yourself love. Investing in yourself is showing yourself love. Okay. Now that we've established that, I'm gonna keep saying it, but if you think about how to invest in yourself, think about how to invest in a bank. Banks take money. So, in order to invest in it, you put money into it. What does my body need? What do I need? Water. Drink more water. What do I need? My skin needs to be washed. Take a shower. Wash my face. Do my skincare routine. Do my hair care routine. It doesn't always have to be so in-depth, and I feel like in the society today, sometimes we force things that don't go together. Like, self-love for everybody doesn't have to be going on a run and exercising and, you know, cutting people off and doing all those things. Like, no. Sometimes it's just baby steps. For me, I had to get out of that depressive state. And once I got out of that state and figured out how to get out of that state, I had to figure out how to stay out of that state. So one thing that helps me is doing my skincare routine. Because getting older, girl, my skin, she just decided not to cooperate and show up to the party anymore. She decided that she don't rock with me anymore, and that's that. Okay, that's cool. But I still gotta wear this skin, so I'm gonna have to fuel it however I can. So doing my skincare routine is something that helps me do that, helps me stay on track. And it feels good. I like how it feels. I do stuff that I like steaming and, you know, face masks. And then after you look cute. Like, who doesn't want to look cute? So doing stuff like that, drinking my water, taking my supplements, because it's like, okay, when I take my supplements, certain supplements are for certain things. So if I'm taking my supplement for bloating, then when I'm dancing in the mirror to some Megan Thee Stallion, I don't look like a Care Bear. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to look like a Care Bear, okay? And that's not a dig at weight, because I've been bigger than this and I've been smaller than this, but bloating is a whole different ball game. So when you don't bloat and your body kind of snatches back, girl, you can't tell me nothing. So yeah, just make sure that you're fueling your body however you do that, and just taking care of yourself is more than half the battle. Another thing that also helps, that doesn't have to do with necessarily my physical body but my mind, is listening to podcasts. I really love crime podcasts. I really love crime shows, even though I'm very cautious of what I watch. So some of the stuff, if it's like too bloody or gory, I won't watch it. I'll kind of cover my eyes, because you do need to protect what your spirit has access to. But I love watching like them figure it out, and the detectives, and you know, the SVU and the Criminal Minds type of shows, as well as really funny shows or musical type shows. Just any type of art that's put together like that, I love. And lastly is just celebrating yourself and giving yourself grace. I'm not saying every time you get up every day you get ice cream, because then you're gonna hate yourself, because that's enabling. Well, why do I always feel bad, and why because girl, you consuming sugar like it's going out of style. That was such a mom joke. But like, you can't be doing stuff like that and then expecting different results. You do have to have a certain level of discipline for self-love, but you can start small. So if you do get out of bed and you haven't gotten out of bed for 3 days straight, you know, give yourself a pat on the back, or, you know, send God a thank you, because it's like, thank you, like, get that blessing back. Like, thank you for waking me up today. Let God bless you. So just give yourself grace and congratulate yourself when you need it. If you miss a day of working out and you're the type of person who likes to work out, give yourself grace. Girl, you missed a day, but that's okay, because guess what? You're going to get back to it tomorrow. And if you can't get back to it tomorrow, guess what? There's another day, because God is going to bless you with another day. And you got to claim that, and you got to believe that in your soul. So yeah, just give yourself grace. Don't punish yourself. Sometimes positive reinforcement is just as effective as negative reinforcement, especially when it comes from you, you know? So yeah, those are just my tips on how to protect your energy, stay fueled, stay centered, and stay motivated. I hope this helps you guys. If it does, give me a like and subscribe to my channel. I want to definitely post more videos like this, because I really feel like this is God's way of working through me, and I really want to, you know, share this with you all. I know some of my friends will lean on me for motivation and things like that, so I really feel like this is my calling. So if you agree, or you feel like, you know, you've learned something from this, or you've taken something from this, then leave a comment, let me know, share it with a friend. And I will be back to see you guys again with some more positivity, some more empowerment. And let me know how your journey is going, because I love to see it. You can follow me on all platforms at Amaka's Advice. You can follow me on all platforms at Amaka's Advice. And you'll see it on the screen as well. So I'll catch you guys later. Have a blessed and beautiful day. Bye.